Hello NetJets team, this is Matt Bergen. Another video with regards to configuration of our system. We went through recruiting today. We didn't have a chance to look at some of the admin tools on the back end that allow you to manage recruiting. So we'll look at those quickly and hopefully give you some insight into what the experience is like. So the first one we'll look at is the applicant status. So as applicants move through the recruiting process from applied to shortlisted to interviewed to phone interview to whatever those statuses are, those can be managed directly through the applicant status configuration. So we'll look at the simple statuses. You can see here we have all of the different statuses in the process, shortlist to interview to offer. If I want to add a new status group, you'll see these status groups like system statuses, forward statuses. I can add a brand new group, or I can just add a new status and just select the status I want and add that in. When I get into the statuses themselves, I have additional capabilities and functionality I have within each status. So for example, I can label what these statuses are, so what I see internally and what the candidate sees when they're on the career site can be different. And of course, the next step, we talked about the ability to configure the language for this for what you want. Next step in text, we call it assessment. It could be something else. We have additional options on if we want to show or even hide status. And then from here, we can also select templates that we're going to deliver as part of this process to different people in the organization. So whether it's a hiring manager, and when a candidate gets to this status, we want to automatically send a manager or send an email to the hiring manager. Or when it gets to this status, we want to send an email to the recruiting collaborator to help us set up interviews. Anyway, we've got a lot of flexibility in being able to send emails to whoever we need to in the organization. So those are some of the tools that we use, or some of the functionality we have to be able to manage statuses for recruiting. Now, one of the other items in here would be being able to manage the offer letter templates. I'll go ahead and leave here. We're not going to save the changes we've made. But offer letter templates are a big question for most of our clients. So as part of the offer process, I want to be able to see those templates, modify and manage them based on my need, add new templates. So this is the screen where we start to manage those templates. I can see all of my existing templates. I can create a new template directly from here. We'll just again go into our USA template, and this is what the experience is like. So I can see the language and country. If this is translated, I have the ability to do the translations here. So right now I'm looking at the letter in English. Maybe we want to look at what this letter looks like when it's in Japanese. So that would be the same letter translated in Japanese. Go back to English US so I can explain the rest of the template. We can add the template name, job offers, whether or not this is even enabled or disabled so people can see it. And then I can go in here, of course, I can add tokens throughout the entire application and then put in whatever information I want to from a letter, and then I can save those changes. Now, you can put in as many templates as you want, as different templates as you want. Those templates and who sees those templates, who has access to utilize them, is permissioned through our role-based permissioning model. So that gives you some idea on the template and what it looks like. The very last thing I want to show you with regards to recruiting is really just the routing of the recruiting requisition. And we looked at this a little earlier, but I'll just touch on it again. So within the application, we use route maps for both performance, for compensation. We also use route maps for recruiting. So all of my route maps, you can see my performance route maps there. I also have my recruiting route maps. These look very similar to what we showed from a performance perspective. So we have different steps in the process. I can drag and drop these to move them around if I want to change the order. If I want to add a new step to the process, so right now this is a 3-step process, I can add a new step name. We'll call it NetJets. We've created that new step name. Again, like we saw in performance, this can be a single role, a single person. This can be iterative, where it's a requisition going back and forth between two people. This might occur if you were sending a requisition between a recruiter and a hiring manager, trying to finalize the details of the requisition before you kick it off. When I select my role, maybe it's a second level manager here, that's all I need to do. And I save that route map, and of course that route map would be associated to the requisition, or a single route map might be associated to multiple requisitions. So that's the process of changing that kind of approval process for job requisitions. Again, hopefully that gives you some great insight into SuccessFactors and into the administration of the recruiting. Obviously there's a lot more to recruiting than just this, but I wanted to touch on a couple of the key things where recruiters spend a lot of their time. Thank you again for your time, and if you need anything, reach out to me or to your account executive.